mashed up as it feels like, you know, this is now a culture for us, you know, like this Mexican punk thing that we're doing. Like, when we were kids, it was just us and Logan, you know what I mean? You knew who it was. It was me, my brother, you, your brother, Diego down on fucking Ocean View.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, a few kids few and far and in between that are maybe younger or, like, way older than us, you know what I mean? And that was it. And now, you know, there's a whole scene in Logan. There's the whole scene in City Heights of, like, these Mexican kids. You go to a family member's quinceañera and there's usually a punk cousin somewhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and
that's what's funny.
It's just changed up now, but it's tight. It's got everybody thinking different, and you don't have to be, you know, the cholo. You don't have to be, you know... I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that, bruh. Shout out to the cholo. That's
the cholo gods.
I'm not even trying to disrespect.
Shout out to the cholo gods.
That will always be who we came from and a part of the culture and a you know, and an influence to who we are always. But you know, people, you know, as Chicanos, we're thinking a little bit different. We're trying to be
more progressive.
You know. We're just not even progressive, just who we are. You know what I mean? Like, who we want to be.
Yeah.
There's no reason we can't be these things and still be ourselves. I could like fucking, you know, Op Ivy and like fucking Nopales too, dog. You know what I mean? It's all good. Like, I could think of 64 Impala's tight and fucking want to go check out Flux of Pink Indians. You know what I'm saying? It's tight. It's all the same shit. It's all rebellion. You know what I mean? It's all...
Yeah. And again, it's all about, like, where we're talking about that they do this event here in San Diego, which is called Punks and Hip Hop and stuff. And with one of my boys, shout out to Carlo, man. He'll see Senor down at AC Lounge every other Wednesday, Hip Hop Wednesdays. And it's cool. It's cool to hear him, because I don't think we've ever talked about, like, my music taste with him. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Yeah, man, it's like punk music." And I was like, looked at him like, "What the fuck?" Like, yeah, like punk music and hip hop, like those are like the anti-establishment, like, music for the working class motherfucker, you know. And I was just like, yeah, like it is true, man. Like, because I feel working class, we don't discriminate on what color, what part of the city you live on, with anything, dude. We're all in the same motherfucking struggle, and we're all fucking buying to do the same shit, you know. And it's cool. Like, I know you were talking about it, like how, like, you had your stuff together back in, like, 10 years ago, and, like, now you're, like, just kind of floating the boat. But I feel you're more happier now, dude, than it was 10 years ago.
Absolutely, dude. And, like, I mean, you know, you go... When I was younger, I was a new father, and I had this idea in my head that, like, I had to be, you know, normal, like, to be a good dad, you know what I mean? I had to, like, put all this shit to the side. Yeah. So I could be that person. And I spent a lot of, like, my early 20s repressing who I was so I could be this person who I thought was a good father. Yeah. And as I got older, I couldn't fight it anymore, man. Like, I started, like, coming across old friends, and, you know, I just had to be who the fuck I was finally. Yeah. And, you know, you realize that, you know, that's just who the fuck you are sometimes, man. Yeah. Like, you can't deny that shit at some point, you know? Yeah. I can't be, you know, anything other than who the fuck I am right now. Yeah. That's, you know, that's me. That's, you know... Sometimes I go to fucking family parties and this and that, man, and I'm still just the old punk rock cousin. And it's, you know, it's funny sometimes, like, everyone will be like, "Oh, this is what you're still doing, fool? Alright," like...
But it's so cool.
But it's just who I am, bro. Like, you know, I don't have no shame in it anymore, you know what I mean? This is just who I am. So my kids might know who I am, like... Yeah. I wear band t-shirts and long cholo socks, dog. I mean, you figure it out. I don't know.
Clear I saw a man on a string, raising a daughter of a son. He moves so slow like a dying train, like a machinist who got caught in a machine. I saw his lady and she was crying. She said it's hard when someone you love is dying. I saw his kid about 5 years old. He's in a park all alone, it's cold. There's something coming around, as wicked as it may seem, as wicked as anything could be, as wicked as it may seem, as wicked as anything could be. I feel at the prom that I promise you, that it's coming as I can do. Times are going to change a step aside. It's all for you that took you by surprise. The sun's coming up, yeah, new dawn arrives. A generation standing stand with anger in their eyes. No love in the city, cause there's no connection. Stricken by disease, a racial infection. I'm a battery man, coming through you. In every alleyway, on every avenue. Pick me back up just to throw me back down. Apologies too late when you're up against the wall. Compassion heals, multiplicity kills. You say that I'm different, you say that I'm different. The only thing different is the way I feel about you. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. You moved up the ladder at very rapid speed. Oh, we moved nobody can call me. When you got to the top, you see enemies. Oh, you say that I'm different, you say that I'm different. The only thing different is the way I feel about you. He didn't see it coming until it's too late. He had a bad feeling, can't hesitate. And at the end of the day, he was so tired. And he looked at television and who's a fucking liar. He hates society and thinks it's too big. He dreams about killing a man with his ring, and he knew what was happening a few years ago. And he's the first on the case and there's a murder to shoot. Bright light, you come tonight. Interrogate the kid with the big 57. Gonna blast him. Gonna blast him. Gonna blast him. Gonna blast him. Go! Got some fear, what's in store? We're all went up at the liquor store, talking to some fucked up kid, full of LSD and mescaline. Tucked away the angels talk, so clear and so sensitive. I always remember how we said, rolling over. I say, it's only entertainment. I say, it's only entertainment. I say, it's only entertainment. Sometimes you need something, make sense of it all. I'm walking through the college on the path of knowledge. I see the spray paint just ran on the brick wall. Always remember how we said, rolling over. I said, it's only entertainment. I said, it's only.
And we're back.
And we're back after you heard that extensive quick review on
And now come the wolves.
So overall, what do you think about this album?
Go ahead, Adrian. Take
To
it.
be brutally honest, at the end, it kind of loses you a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of solid tracks here where, like, when you see them live, they're going to be, you know, the ones you're going to want to hear for sure. There is a lot of stuff that gets lost in the shuffle for sure. But generally, Rancid albums tend to be pretty long.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems like there's a lot of stuff that, like, gets lost in the shuffle a lot. You know what I mean? Unless you're really sitting there digging for them and really listening through this stuff, you know, for the B-sides, for, you know, the weirdest stuff. And I mean, you got to remember that's what this is. At the end of this is the B-sides now. You know what I mean? How we were talking about earlier, where the record flows. You're listening to the B-sides, which at one point in time was a thing. If I'm not mistaken, the B-side starts with Old Friend on the album. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, it starts there and kind of starts to go into obscurity towards the end. You know what I mean?
Like a burning fire. Like, the fire is, like, super lit in the beginning. And it's, like, slowly dying.
It definitely peaks if you're listening to it and you're eating a bunch of magic mushrooms. Definitely by the end of side one, you're like, wow, this is a lot. And then by the end of it, you're like, okay, I'm ready to go to bed and not trip so hard. It's a good ride, dude. But you know what I mean? It mellows out towards the end, and you get a lot of cool, But that's how Let's Go is too. You know what I mean? When you get to like track 19 and 20, there's a lot of weird. Matt Freeman starts singing a bunch towards the end of it. You know what I mean? Like, you get a bunch of cool B-sides and. But there's gold in there if you're into it. If you're a Rancid fan, it's tight.
Yeah.
That's the thing I feel like you have to be invested in the band and not a casual listener to really dig into a lot of these more lesser known tracks or to appreciate them.
If you're listening to 91X super casually or something like that, you're listening for Time Bomb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're a fan of what they're doing and how they make songs, you can go the whole thing through and at least fucking give it a listen and appreciate it.
Because it's a Rancid classic. I feel their most iconic album.
Yeah, easily.
Commercially,
Other than
and culturally, I'd say, you know what I mean. Like, this is the one where I think it kind of crosses the boundary of, like, no matter whether you were a fucking punk, whether you're a greaser, whether you're a fucking skinhead, whether you're a fucking emo kid. You knew
you saw that cover, that homage to Minor Threat. Ian McKay. I don't know if anybody knows. It's a throwback to their
their uniqueness.
It was impactful, and at the time when we were growing up, it was only 5-6 years old, so it didn't feel that way at the time. We just kind of felt like it existed. We were lucky enough to have it.
Yeah.
But now, when you kind of reflect back on it, it's you said it came out in 95?
95, yeah.
So what? This is fucking about to be 25 years old?
Yep.
Am I doing math right? Okay, yeah. So, I mean, have a quarter century now with fucking Out Come the Wolves, and you can still throw on Time Bomb tomorrow. We can go DJ a fucking show at some fucking bullshit bar tomorrow, throw on Time Bomb, and motherfuckers are gonna start dancing a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you can do that still. Like, those songs are timeless.
And not just that, but to have Rancid still putting out new material
it's just incredible.
And playing, and I just saw them, was it a couple years ago for It's Not Dead Fest 2, I think. They played, they co-headlined with Dropkick Murphys, and that was my second time seeing them, and they killed it. They're like transitioning it song after song.
Was that the one at Petco Park?
No breaks. No, but you went to that one.
I did go to that one, yes.
That was like the big festival in San Bernardino. Rad. Rancid's always great. They're a band that
they're timeless, and
I think it pays to really see them live.
Yeah.
Like, their studio time doesn't really do them justice. Like, when you see them, their live performance, how they are, their fucking stage presence, it's infectious. You know what I mean? I saw them for the first time in Las Vegas, Punk Rock Bowling 2013 for the very first time.
Oh, wow.
And they played I Want to Ride. They played every fucking thing that I could have wanted to hear that night. And other than that, it was like I got stranded. Fucking, it was a really crazy situation there. But Rancid was like the highlight.
Vegas,
of
man.
It is Vegas.
I've been fortunate enough to see Rancid a good handful of times. I got to see him when I was young, at Warped Tour plenty of times, and then when I got a little bit older, I remember they played like a 3-show like weekender at the House of Blues like 2